Margaret stands beside her laptop, team members filling the long conference table around her. She finished the presentation slides late last night. Before the meeting, she reviewed each bullet point, making sure numbers aligned, charts labeled. It is not perfect, but it tells the story she needed to tell. She connects her laptop to the screen and clicks into full slide mode. The boss, Kevin, sits at the head of the table. Kevin clicks through the first few slides. They look fine. Then the version history pops up behind him. Tiny timestamps and file names flicker on screen. Kevin stops. He points at the little gray text on the side that reads, Draft Final Revised 3. He raises an eyebrow, whispering, barely audible, multiple drafts? Is that what we're presenting today? Silence. Everyone's attention shifts. Margaret feels a sudden tightness in her chest. She tightens her jaw. She had to email the team late at night. She had to fix the tables. She thought this was fine. Kevin leans forward, his posture calm but firm. Tell me why this slide existed in 5 different versions last night. Margaret swallows. I was working to address the data consistency after... Kevin cuts her off. This is a presentation to the board, Margaret. Board members aren't interested in your version control system. He scrolls back and forth, making the version history more prominent. Look at this. Draft. Final. Version 2. Version 3. Draft final. Another one. Do you think this says confident, professional, that you know what you are doing? Margaret's voice shakes slightly. I cleaned up the final version. The others were... Kevin gestures. You see how that looks to me? That says you didn't prepare properly, that you threw something together at the last minute, that you didn't care. Eyes shift. A few teammates exchange uncertain looks. The room is quiet except for the click-click of Kevin's remote. He advances to the next slide with charts. He squints. What happened here? The labels don't match the legend. The bar colors switched from the draft I saw yesterday. Now I have 3 blue bars on the wrong axis. Margaret blinks. She didn't notice. Pride fights with panic. She'd tested it. She thought it was correct. Kevin smiles slowly, coldly. You know, Margaret, when I was your age, I made mistakes too. But I didn't stand in front of executives and pretend everything was fine. I double-checked. I triple-checked. You just click and hope. He nods toward the team who scribbles notes or watches. Is there anyone here who saw this version before and said something? No? Didn't think so. Margaret feels her face grow warm. She hears a soft gasp from someone at the table. She wishes she could curl up. Kevin continues. He raises the laptop, exposing the desktop. Margaret's files show up. Presentation Final 2, Presentation Final 3, Presentation Draft 4. The team glances. She stands behind him, unwilling to reach. Kevin looks around. Everyone sees this. This is amateur hour. I expect professional work in this department. When I ask for a board-ready deck, I want a board-ready deck. He waves at the screen. This isn't board-ready. This is sloppy. This is disorganized. And it reflects on me. Margaret holds her breath. Kevin lowers the laptop, locking eyes with Margaret. Margaret, you're better than this. Or at least I thought you were. But this is not acceptable. For any of us. The team remains silent. Margaret glances at James beside her. He looks sympathetic, but uncertain. He doesn't speak. Kevin leans back in his chair, steeples his fingers. He flicks his gaze along the table. I let this go for now. We'll move on. But next time, I expect no versions on screen. Clean data, no errors. Act like you matter here. He turns to Margaret. Will you do that? Her voice is barely audible. Yes. He shifts, clicking to a brand new slide as if wiping the slate clean. Good. Now let's proceed. Margaret continues, forcing composure. She moves through the rest of her deck, but the confidence is gone. Her voice stiff, her hands tremor behind her back. She sees Kevin glance once, as if gauging her reaction, but he gives no more public bite. He doesn't help her, he doesn't praise her. After the meeting, people pack up. Many stop to thank her, but avoid Kevin. He gives the signal and they file out. Margaret exhales, her breaths shallow. She packs her things and stands by the door. Kevin approaches. He shuts the door behind them. The hallway is quiet. He looks down. She meets his gaze. Then he turns and walks away without a word. That afternoon, Margaret works late. She opens the deck, corrects the inconsistent colors, aligns the axis labels, removes version history from the screen, rewrites titles. She reverberates with Kevin's words: professional, prepared, board ready. She sits, alone, modifying text. She checks, double checks. She cross-verifies data sources. The late hour passes. The next morning, Margaret enters the conference room ahead of everyone. Kevin arrives and nods. He sits silently. She starts the presentation again, now flawless in structure and visuals. This time, her voice is clear. She projects actual confidence. By slide 8, the team leans in. They engage, nodding approval. She fields questions smoothly. She anticipates concerns. Kevin listens. Not once does he mock or point to version history or question her credibility. He watches, words unreadable on his face. At the end, Margaret closes her laptop. She answers the final question. She pauses. There is a moment, just a brief second, before Kevin speaks. "Well done," he says. Not harsh, not generous, just, "well done." The team applauds softly. Margaret breathes again. Inside, she swells. That evening, Margaret downloads her files to her home drive. She writes a short note. Finished clean version. Learned a lot. She sends it to Kevin and copies her director and the PMO office. She removes version history from the file. She adds a final July 15th version name. Early next week, she gets a reply from the director. "Excellent revision. Thank you." PMO replies, "Board version looks great." Kevin does not reply. Margaret wonders, did she earn it? Would he ever praise her? Or is this just how business is done? Later that week, on Friday morning, the quarterly board update meeting, Margaret sits near the front row. Kevin stands at the head of the room, but Margaret leads a section: market analysis, competitive landscape, growth drivers. She begins. She speaks with calm authority. Charts shine. All data aligned. Colors consistent. Version history hidden. She takes questions, answers them without hesitation. At the end, the CFO nods and says, "That was excellent. Clear, thorough, concise." Kevin stands back, folds his arms briefly, then says, "Thank you, Margaret, for leading that. It was professional and polished." No laughter, no mock at her expense, no mention of past errors. Nothing but acknowledgement. Margaret's pulse steadies. She looks out at the board. They listen. They smile. They aren't judging her. Later that afternoon, in the hallway outside Kevin's office, he waits by the door. Margaret walks by. He nods. "Let's talk about next quarter." She smiles. "Happy to." They walk inside together. The door closes. No dramatic congratulations, no high fives, no apology. Just work.